Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's had an excellent week so far. Welcome to episode 20 of Dwell On It. I'm going to say 20. If I remember how Instagram uploaded last time, I think it's now behind by an episode, and I don't think that actually happened. However, I did lose a day last week, apparently, so what do I know? Let's run with 20, and whatever happens from there happens. But anyway, welcome. I hope everyone's had a fantastic week already. This year's flying by. I hope everyone's been able to handle it in a way that's comfortable and safe for them. But my gosh, I cannot believe that it's November. So how about we just forget about how fast this year is flying by and get this show on the road? Last week's was powerful for me with some excellent questions. My gosh. I'm hopeful that this week's going to be a little happier. They were solid questions, but wow, that just beat me up and then some. With like going from like flustered to mad to sad to pessimistic to hopeful. Wow. Okay, let's do this here. Here's a good start. This is a good start. I like this. As a trans woman, what is a gift you'd really enjoy? For myself, as Taylor, like, I get things that I need when I need them. So, as a trans woman, what's a gift I'd really enjoy? I know, for myself, if somebody surprised me with some, like, new good quality makeup brushes, oh my gosh, that definitely is on my to-do list. I have plenty of makeup brushes as is, but I know that when I bought them, that was in my pre-transition time, and I didn't know where life was taking me, so investing heavily in makeup brushes would have been a pretty large overinvestment, but I definitely would like to get some makeup brushes for sure. The reality is, though, aside from that, remember I said not too long ago that I'm super cool at parties? What other things are going to make me happy if somebody surprised me with gifts right now? Measuring cups and spoons. Like, seriously, I was doing a bunch of baking the other day and I realized that I was kind of short on some measuring cups and spoons somehow. I don't know where they went, but like so yeah, right. Look. I still haven't got around to replacing my treadmill belt, so sure, you want to go ahead and service my treadmill? Cool. Like, those things make me happy too. I don't know, right? Because believe me, I've got just a bajillion clothes. I'm certainly more than enough covered when it comes to makeup and whatnot. And same thing with skincare and whatnot. But see, and here's the thing where, like, as a trans woman, not all women are the same. Not all women have the same interests. Not all women have the same wants. Not all women have the same desires. I like my aesthetics, right? I like getting pretty, I like those things, right? I certainly have no problem shopping, and so on, but I definitely don't need that. And so if I ever got a gift that was based to that, I'm like, oh, please don't. Like, let's put money towards, like, take that and put it towards my fundraiser, or take that and put it towards a donation of whatever or something, instead of it sitting on my dresser for Lord knows how long until I finally need to buy an eyeshadow palette or whatever. And actually, let me share an example. Like, this is actually a perfect segue by mentioning eyeshadow palette. As a trans woman, a gift that really speaks to me is a gift that the gift giver is providing in a way that says, I see you and I want to see the best of you. And what I mean by that is, and it's just like any other gift, really, but I feel that there's a lot of power if your gift is sharing the message of, I want you to be your best self because you deserve that. You've had a long time in your life that has not been your best self So let's max that out now while you have it. And so the eyeshadow palette. Years ago, there was somebody super important to not just me, but like this entire course. She was rather instrumental in this in high. And for my birthday, she got me a bunch of makeup. And this was in my pre-transition days, but I was right in the part of my life that I affirmed that I have to accept Taylor being my life, right? Like I couldn't do this, pack unpack business anymore. Taylor lived full time. Taylor was not a moment. Taylor was, my identity, and it just coming to reasoning with how to navigate that was a story in its own self. But the fact that Taylor was existing, Taylor wasn't a temporary piece of life. Taylor existed. It was just like I said. It was still in my pre-transition days, and I was still clearly trying to figure out where life was going. But this was right at the part where I kind of got real with myself. So anyway, my birthday came and she got me makeup, and that meant so much to me because I know that was a way of saying I see Taylor, I see you, and I see Taylor, and I want to see the best of Taylor. I want to see Taylor shine. I want to see Taylor be beautiful. I want to see Taylor show up, right? I want to see Taylor, and that meant tons because it was just it's that message. It's because it's not the same message as, hey, I saw your eyeshadow empty, so I just decided to stock up for you, which is also meaningful in its own right, depending on context. But like I said, in this case, it was telling a story of, I want to see Taylor. And what's funny too, actually, on that same eyeshadow palette, now please don't quote me on this, and anybody here who's a makeup enthusiast is going to have at me for this, because I understand that makeup has a shelf life. I get it. But I also have a lot. I'm not throwing it out. But I'm not saying that don't acknowledge your shelf lives. Just be mindful and make sure to clean your brushes and everything else, right? Like, just be mindful about your care. So anyway, I learned that what you can do with powders, like in palettes and whatever, if you had a pressed like a pressed powder, but it was starting to get loose, you can take isopropyl alcohol and just put a little dribble in there until it turns into a bit of a slurry, I guess. And then as that dries, you can press it down either with a clean finger or a spoon or something like that, and you can recreate it being pressed. So the palette that I got from her, it was an eyeshadow palette, so there were 5 colors in there, and as time went on, one of the colors ended up panning out, so I didn't want to get rid of the rest of them, obviously. What I ended up doing was, there was another palette that I was using that was starting to get close to, its colors starting to pan out too, and they were all in the same sort of neighborhood. Like, I could certainly get blue to cooperate with them, so I matched each segment up as best as I could with its buddy, and essentially made a mix of those colors together, and then repressed them so that they were they're blended well. But it's nice, right, that I didn't have to get rid of the old palette just because I ran out or whatever. I wanted to make sure to make the most of it, and like I said, so I mixed them up, and then, like I said, I just crumbled, stir, get back with the alcohol in there, and reset it back in its tray, and just press it down, and the rest is history. So that gift meant so much. Like, seriously, the gift meant so much to me. I made sure to mix it with another palette, right? Because the gift was like, it's like I said, the gift wasn't eyeshadow and the gift wasn't makeup. The gift was a way of saying Taylor's fucking badass, and I want to see her at her best self, and this is how we can help get that to come about. And it was fantastic. Like, I wasn't short on makeup, right? Like, I definitely wasn't unfamiliar with, pre-transition days and so on. So this was just, like I said, it was it wasn't filling lost gaps. It was a way of saying that see you and you are Taylor. Come on out, let's party. And like I said, and so it's gifts like that that I'd really enjoy. Why do you think the divorce rate is so high these days? Young marriage, and then recognizing the fact of getting married young is premature. I'm not saying don't get married young. I'm saying that if you aren't ready to get married, don't do it. And honestly, like, just even look in our world nowadays, where the amount of truths that are coming out of people from being isolated or stuck at home because of COVID could certainly be conflicting in relationships, depending on, you know, the exposure of views that might never have not come up, or that might never have come up in other conversations in a past life. Social media itself is just a terrible beast, in the sense that, you know, if anyone's slightly uncomfortable with their partner, they can just create a profile or open up or like dust off an old one or whatever of any dating app and just start looking in the market again. Those are all things I can think of, like the idea of, you know, being isolated from the rest of the world and you make it work with your partner. It sounds lovely, but there are too many options and distractions on the table to really affirm that. And it really involves two partners, like in terms of not getting divorced, that really truly involves two people who are 100% in it to win it. I'm divorced. I'm not proud to be divorced, and I was ashamed to be divorced, but I'm also not letting that be a burden over me, because the reality is that it wasn't healthy to stay in that relationship. And I legitimately, I've said to people before, and this is again pre-transition, but I've said to people before that if I was to bump into my ex-wife, you know, just in just a happenstance of life or whatever, I absolutely would apologize. Again, let's put context here, that I'd be like, I absolutely would apologize for not being as best of a partner as I could have been at the time. Now, I don't know if she would recognize me, but maybe she will. Right, but still, to the point. Like, now I would have to introduce that first, but still, like, I learned a lot as I matured, and not even just after the divorce, right? Because it wasn't just instant, right? But it was like, I've been divorced since, and if anyone knows the dates, I just happen to be like mutual friends or whatever. Sorry for not remembering explicit dates. I'm pretty sure that it was. Like, we started separating in 2011, divorce was finalized in 2012, so it's pretty much a decade that I've been divorced. And that entire time, believe me, that there are times that I would reflect on that, wondering how I could have been better or what I've learned about myself since then. So that, like, the divorce rate, I think, just largely goes hand in hand with well, like I mentioned, all of those things earlier. But then everyone's got their own level of development, and whether you choose to continue to better yourself at all times with your partner, right, and continue to grow, or do you just dig your heels in the ground and say, this is who I am and you better love me for the rest of the time because we're married now? Like, that affects divorce obviously too. Like I said, that there's you can't just pin it on one thing, but like I said, I feel very strongly that there are just so many external influences that are more in favor of, are you really sure that your perfect partner is your perfect partner forever? Like, it's kind of frustrating saying that, because do I believe that is possible? Yes, absolutely. And like, I would love to have my happily ever after, you know, have my one, and that's it, and we just get through life, and we, you know, go through the tough times, we go through the easy times, we just go through life and make it work. I believe in that. I believe it's possible, but for that to happen, you need two people to do it. It starts with needing two people, and then you need two people to do it, or more people if that's your style, just to be inclusionary. But the point. I don't feel everything's destined for divorce. I feel that there's just a lot of pressure on getting married by people who believe that getting divorced is, well, essentially a cardinal sin. And then that pressure just stays within the family, and so on and so on and so on and so on. That's why I think the divorce rate is so high. I see gender euphoria said, it was in quotes, I see gender euphoria said often, but I don't know if I can relate to it. Do you experience it, and in what way? Maybe? I want to pull up a definition of gender euphoria. I'd like to rabble off about it. Honestly, that's a term that I've never been familiar with from, through the course of my own transition. I can kind of already contemplate what it suggests, but I'd like to be on the exact same page here. Gender euphoria. Definitely has a B in it. Gender euphoria is a psychological condition which consists of comfort or even joy when thinking about one's true gender identity, often accompanied by a strong desire to change one's... I don't like this. It went well and it went downhill. Sure, let me just carry on. You're often accompanied by a strong desire to change one's sex to better match their identity or to be called the correct gendered language. I didn't like that as soon as it went there because that got overly specific. Oh, actually, I like this here. It looks like University of Victoria. A shiny little gender breakthrough. Well, that's cute. That's a really cute way to put it. It's the opposite of gender dysphoria. So gender euphoria is the positive homologue of dysphoria. The term gender euphoria was created by and for gender. I don't like this either now because it's minimizing. Holy Christ! It's minimizing diversity. But anyway. Gender or sex minority communities. For the record, I believe I've mentioned in a previous video, I know personally I got, after I did my episode of Face to Face, I got into a thread on Reddit, and there was an individual being frustrated about using the acronym 2S, I use the acronym 2S LGBTQIA+ most frequently. Often on Twitter I'll use LGBTQ+ literally because of just character amount, but otherwise if I do the best that I can to be inclusive, I do try to affirm using 2S LGBTQIA+, and I understand that there are so many more. It is an evolving acronym, and there are many acronyms, but nonetheless, but a user was being like, that's way too many letters, why don't you just use GSM? And for starters, that acronyms aren't supposed to be convenient. It's literally the definition of acronym is not about convenience. So that's one thing. And then second, I actually didn't even know that GSM was used as an acronym. And coming from a past life of audio video sales and cell phone sales, I was wondering why there was constant, what, are you trying to use cell phones as a reference? So anyway, back to the point. The dialogue fixes itself a little better here, right? I use minority to mean people minoritized on the basis of their gender, sex, and cis-normative society, including transgender and non-binary people, among others. I just feel that could have been written nicer. And this is from Australia, so perhaps culture changes slightly. Anyway, so back to the point here. So it's the opposite of gender dysphoria. Now, I want to see if there are examples. I guess honestly it's just going back to that the other bit there where it was just essentially saying that there's euphoria in finding comfort or joy when thinking about yourself. Now, see, I've never found comfort or joy thinking about my life after I started transitioning, because it never made me happy. Because transitioning was a point of desperation, not a goal, right? Let's put that into reality, that it was a point of desperation, not a I'm gonna do this one day, for myself at least. And in pre-transition times when I would let Taylor be part of my life for a period of time, however long it may be, I felt comfortable, but I wasn't over the hill. We're over the moon. I was over the wall. I'm over the hill now. but like it felt good. But honestly, even lots of times, it felt like more work than anything. So I could never relate to that. So I'm happy that we can relate so far on this question. That said, even after I went socially full time, there would still be a period of time that I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. But at least I was optimistic, knowing that it's like my life is on a better path. And then I remember there was one day it was an outfit that I was wearing. It just honestly was a basic outfit. It was just black torn jeans and just a gray sweater and just a tank underneath with some lace and a hat, and I took a picture of myself and I saw myself in the mirror, and for the first time I saw me, and I couldn't stop texting people. And like, I've never stopped smiling when I see myself in the mirror. I love me. I love the fact that as I mentioned earlier, I was doing a ton of baking a little while back. Made more apple crisp than I think is allowed. I had a lot of apples and a lot of oatmeal. So I made a lot of apple crisp. And or rolled oats, not oatmeal. But you know what I mean. So anyway, after, just fucking getting however many things taken care of and threw everything in the oven, and I'm sitting on the counter and just kind of like, decompressing after that. And I'm sitting like an absolute scrub straight up. I haven't showered for just over 2 days because between work and trying to get around to make time to work out and whatever, and I'm just feeling like a complete potato, but I'm sitting on the counter and just eating a Kit Kat and just sitting and I'm just reflecting on life, being like, this is fucking amazing. Because I remember in a past life that I always thought that I would need to do this and this and this every single day to be happy, to live the life. I felt like every single day I needed to, have to wear my, Sunday's finest every single day of the week. And I felt like I would always need to always be like primp and prance, and I'd always have to be training my voice, and I'd have to be mastering a walk, and I'd have to be this, and I'd have to be that, and have to be. And it sounded like so much goddamn work. So how can you have gender euphoria when you've realized how much work it is like to fall into the binary, the binary protocol put upon you by everybody else, right? So how is that fun? Except for the fact that like I said, I was sitting like an absolute scrub. Hair's a mess. Legit wearing stuff from a past life. Still look cute in it. Ecstatic of just being able to be me. I was ecstatic by just living my life. So if you want to call that gender euphoria, yes, that is what it is. It's not looking at my nails and going, hey, right? It's not looking at my toes and going, ooh. It's not looking at my hair going, ah. It's not looking at my chest going, It's none of that. It's living your life, and this is quiet. And I experience that all the time. I've said before, I jump out of bed because I'm excited, right? To just get through the day. Sometimes tired, but I'm just excited to wake up. I was up at 2:30 today, for the record, right? It is currently just after 5 p.m. I was up at 2:30 a.m. Got up, got to work, and got some work done. Then I could start working out. Did my yoga, did my strength and whatever, and I'm on the treadmill, or not the treadmill because I said the belt is broken, right? But I'm on the elliptical and I'm staring out the window for an hour and 45 minutes, happy as a freaking clam before the sun even came up, and I'm living my best life. And I couldn't ever be any happier about myself now. So that is, I feel strongly, is gender euphoria. I realize it's already half an hour. I'm going to wrap up on it because that ended on a fantastic note. I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of your day. I hope that you are happy. I hope you're comfortable. I love your questions. Please keep them coming. Please share this. I'm starting to do my replay on YouTube as well. You can subscribe. And I'm looking forward to the next few questions in the next episode. So thanks again, and later.